because, I mean, no knock on Indiana. Love you guys. But I will say that, I mean, the level of talent, obviously there's a disparity, but the effort and the, I guess you say just the will to win is outshining sheer talent.
It's truly, I think it goes to another strength is their coaching. And just the way that they have these guys ready to play week in and week out. It's truly incredible. But I agree that the offensive line is the initial thing that gives Mendoza time. It gives the running backs time to find that gap and be patient in the in their cuts. So you got to talk about the offensive line here, and everybody's saying, well, look at the weight differentials between the D line for Miami and just how strong these guys are. But I don't think that's going to matter so much with this offensive line for Indiana. They're just so well coached in their gap schemes, in their pass blocking. It's true. I mean, it's beautiful to watch. And like you said, the talent wise, I think they have like 4 stars on the team,
something like that. Yeah.
And everybody's, this is one of those that will be a total outlier because I think the last like 15 national champions have had at least 2 top 10 recruiting classes.
Right.
And Indiana's not there. True. So I might be off on those numbers. Double check me if you're watching, but I'm pretty sure it's close. So, I mean, they're just a total outlier, and everybody's like, well, how is this even possible? Are they cheating, all that crap? I don't want to hear it. They're just well coached. So to me, a strength of it's the coaching staff, just how good this staff is from top to bottom. And then, of course, you got to talk about Mendoza. He's been lights out.
Right.
When he played last week, the ball placement was perfect. I mean, absolutely perfect. And Oregon could not stop it with their top end defensive backs. And they've got good backs too.
Yeah. Man, I don't know. I think I don't know. I don't want to say it's a weak. I don't know.
What do you think?
I don't know. I want to say Indiana's secondary is going to be the weak spot because I think their linebackers are great. Their D line's been playing really well. But I think that there's a potential where you're going to find that Miami's going to force them to put everybody in the box to match up and try and stop Fletcher.
Yeah.
And put their corners on an island in man coverage. And I don't know if they can handle that. Without having some sort of scheme of over the top help and type of scenario, but I think that the secondary, they have to scheme that to where they have some help and some confidence that if they don't pick it off or don't break up the pass, that there's coverage behind them.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And, we're talking about the weaknesses, clearly the offense it's strong. It's been doing its thing.
Right.
But when you look at maybe defense is the weakest point. Like where do you find, a place to attack them? And you've got a strong running back in Fletcher for Miami. So to me, you got to hit that middle. And I know they've been doing really well in Indiana and stopping the run and forcing, passes and turnovers. But this is where you want to test that depth. If you're Miami, you're believing in this physical football game and your ability to just grind you to a dust while also throwing these passes out to the side. Miami or Indiana is going to have their D linemen be very flexible, jumping out into coverage and getting off a block and getting out to the flats or, covering that middle gap. So I think if I would say anything for Miami, this is where you're going to have to try to win the football game is in the trenches and against that D line. Again, we've mentioned that they lost a D lineman to self-inflicted injury. This is where depth really matters. I mean, you were this far into playoffs. It hasn't seemed to rear its head yet. Will it now? That's my question for Indiana up front. Outside of that, I think their scheme works fine. That's going to be fine on the back end. Speed-wise, you do work, consider it. But I want to see how it is in the middle. And I guess that anything else offensively, weakness?
offensive
They've
weakness.
just been
You know, they just keep going. I like every time I feel like it's a weakness, and I granted like it's splitting hairs with Indiana because I feel like they do everything so very well.
Mhm.
But honestly, I think their running game is a weakness. Like I know that they've gotten it done,
Yeah.
but overall the running backs are not they're not Fletcher.
You like Fletcher more?
They're not like a guy like Fletcher that literally can do 5, 6, 7 yards every carry and just literally grind an entire defense down by himself.
Yeah.
And that's what kind of Fletcher brings to this is that grind it out, just like not to just bring up a game, but like literally like 30 runs in a row against Penn State type fucking game where you could see Fletcher pull something like that out of his hat. He's
Yeah.
got that dog mentality in him where I feel like that while I do like Indiana's running game and the backs that they have, I feel like that their wide receiving core and their quarterback and the offensive line are their strength, and maybe the running game might take a hit here because this is going to be hands down, bar none, the most aggressive defense they're going to see all year long that they've ever seen, and
This
probably the toughest and the meanest.
this is a mean Miami defense, and what they've done on that side of the ball this year has been really just remarkable.
Exactly.
The improvement, especially in tackling and things like that.
Right.
I can see that. I mean, I like Hemby and Blacker. They're good running backs, but yeah, I mean, how are they going to handle this front four and the pressure that they're able to get? And we've seen Miami lock down running games.
Yep.
Texas A&M, they did pretty well there. Ohio State, it's just, I'm curious to see how they battle out.